The Resident Evil 4 remake just released, and it's got me in a huge mood for some Resident Evil games. Now, a lot of people give Resident Evil 5 flack for being pretty action forward, and it is, but it's also a really fun game still. Thinking back to the good old days, I decided to take a look at some of the achievement stats in this game, and it turns out a lot of people say the hardest achievement in this game is the achievement War Hero, which has you beat the game on professional difficulty. That's it. Now, as the title suggests, I like to take challenging things and make them way harder. And for this game, I thought I would try something a little different. Spice it up a little. The whole no new game plus, as well as not having an actual human to help being the challenge, would be hard, but I wanted to add an extra layer of difficulty. Which is why each chapter, I'm gonna get a bonus challenge. Of course, if I could pick the bonus challenges each time, I could potentially skew them in my favor and make them a little bit easier. That's why I left it up to Twitch chat and this wheel. Between my brain, chat's brain, and the wheel's brain, we were able to come up with a system to switch the challenge every chapter to ensure maximum suffering on my part. My name is Christane, aka Hot Lettuce TV, and today I'm going to beat Resident Evil 5 on professional difficulty with the Doom Wheel destroying me every chapter. Our journey starts with a simple romp through a small African village. Thankfully, Twitch chat had some small amount of mercy and chose to let me play through the first chapter without spinning the wheel, as they decided just the tip was a good enough start. Just the tip? Yonka, I don't know what that means. I had a very simple plan going into chapter 1, which was just to run away. A plan that was quickly thwarted by one thing. You see, in my infinite knowledge and wisdom of all things gaming, I was hit by the one thing I never saw coming. A guy with charisma. A man in charge. A man who uses a real weapon. The Megaphone Man. Oh god, that guy's got a microphone!
That guy had a microphone. That guy had a microphone, guys. That guy had it's a megaphone, actually.
My plan also had another strong flaw in it. I didn't have a single iota of a clue what I was doing here, which is what led to this mess.
This is bad. You know what? Well, we're 3 seconds in and I murdered Sheva. I actually didn't know I could kill Sheva.
After getting slapped by a megaphone and blowing up my partner, I decided maybe it was best I stayed away from explosives and try my luck at some hand-to-hand combat.
Baba Booey!
By this point, I'd figured out all I had to do was wait until the executioner shows up and smashes the gate down. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Oh god!
After a few attempts escaping the shack, I eventually found a tower Hammerman can't climb. Unfortunately, the scariest man on the planet still can.
Oh no, not megaphone guy. Not megaphone. Goodbye, megaphone guy.
Once I figured out you can just shoot the enemies as they climb and it launches them, it made this section much easier. From there, we fought the blonde lady and her new friends and then moved on to a fight that I was sure was going to bring me vast suffering. The first Ouroboros. But not before shooting my shot with Dr. Pepper.
There are not many things I would get fat for. But if Dr. Pepper was like, hey, drink our drink on stream and we'll sponsor you, but you better get fucking fat, I would get fat. Dr. Pepper or strawberry cream Dr. Pepper? Well, no, they have to send me both. That's the deal. You think I'm gonna take a deal where I don't get strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper? I'm a businessman. All right? This is the face of a businessman. Businessman.
Oh, by the way, Ouroboros only took like 3 tries to fight. It's basically a walking simulator. And with that, Chapter 1 is complete. And so is the chat's mercy on giving me challenges. Starting up Chapter 2, it was finally time to spin the Wheel of Suffering. The challenge for this chapter? I had to start an only eggs.
Yes, only eggs!
In an economy like this, farm fresh eggs are in short supply, and wasting ammo on simple enemies just isn't sustainable. Luckily, I had a fresh supply of rancid, disgusting, expired eggs, fully ready for the tossing. Now, while I will admit this felt literally impossible at times, I tried my best to stay in the challenge parameters here. 2-1 had its challenges, but for the most part it was a breeze when Sheva worked with me.
Get him, Sheva. Get him. Do it. Sheva. Sheva, you have one job. Sheva. Sheva, you have a job.
As you'll see in the future, the inner machinations of Sheva's brain are an enigma. A very, very smooth, dummy-brained enigma.
Dog bad. Dog made death last time. Dog made me dead die. Not good. Not good, dog attack.
In fact, at some point, I think it ended up outright breaking my brain.
Dog bad. Dog made death last time. Dog made me dead die. Not good.
But after some mishaps and having to use guns for a few small parts, I slowly unlocked my true identity as the egg sniper. Of course, all good things come to an end, and while I was breezing through with the eggs, we eventually reached the Papadapa, the Popacoma, the Papakika, the bat scorpion centipede monster. This thing kicked my ass a lot. I tried everything I could think of. I pegged him with all the eggs I could. I pegged his face. I pegged his ass. The pegging just wasn't getting the job done. This popcorn chemo just wouldn't submit to the mighty egg pegging. Eventually realizing I would have to do the motorcycle sequence as well as fighting the big baby, I had to throw in the flag on being able to beat this chapter eggs only. It made me very sad to fail the bonus challenge for this chapter, but a baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do. Chat, however, was still in full support, so ready for me to pin that bat scorpstipede down and let him have it. The egg sniper may have had to drop his eggs, he may have had to drop his pride, but the world needed saving, and there was only one man brave enough to do the job. 44 deaths later.
44 deaths. 44.
Next up was the El Gigante fight, which took me a few tries, but ultimately it wasn't that bad. 2 streams, lots of chat hype, and easily over 100 deaths later, Chapter 2 was done. Starting up Chapter 3, I spun the Wheel of Pain, and...
No. Oh no.
Why did I even put this on the wheel? Sheva time activated for this chapter, meaning I had to let Sheva do as much work as possible. This was the biggest headache of my life. AI has moved so much further in the past 10 years or so for us to have what we have now compared to what this idiot does. Remember when I complained about the Left 4 Dead 2 AIs? I take it all back. They're saints. They're the gods. They do God's work. Sheva isn't even a devil either. It's not like she consistently screws you over and ruins all your plans. She just has a mind of her own. Through the first section of Chapter 3, I ended up opting to just speedrun to getting the medallion pieces, since it didn't take long for me to learn just how bad Sheva's AI can be. After my speedrun through Swamp Hell, we came to this part. Remember when I said the inner machinations of Sheva's mind have ligma? Yeah, this part shows it off pretty bad. Eventually I realized there was no way I could get Sheva to shoot consistently. I had to try something new. It was then a member of chat presented an idea that I had yet to even think of. I present to you all the magnesium tactic.
Yeah, Sheva, get him. Punch. Yeah, Sheva, get him. Punch. Sheva, get him. Hell yeah, Sheva. Uh-oh, that's bad.
Which eventually didn't work out and chat started demanding more eggs. It may cause me to fail yet another bonus challenge, but when the people want eggs, you bring them the whole damn chicken coop. After some solid egg pegging, we finally came down to one of the most tense moments in my entire Resident Evil challenge running career. I had to turn the crank and hold it, but an incredibly dangerous and evil bowman had other plans. There was only one thing that could save me here: the power of friendship. After the bridge debacle and some fun times with a chainsaw man, a member of chat grew tired of seeing Sheva take all the glory, so they paid to have me respin the wheel, and we got little guys. This put so much joy into the hearts of everyone involved, as watching me uppercut little dudes with my big Chris fists was just so silly to look at. I felt like a big bully, and it felt good to finally feel like a challenge wasn't entirely destroying me. After the double chainsaw def jam, we met up with Sheva's best friend Josh, who unfortunately had delicious knees. and those little guys wanted them. Those little guys wanted them so bad they ended up killing me 66 times for them. They would stop at nothing to get a bite of those sweet, sweet shin toppers. They walked through walls, chased us on a boat, and even tried turning into ravenous flailing centipedes. At one point, they started resorting to manning turrets I couldn't even shoot them on because they were just so small. But in the end, Josh understood that they would never stop chasing us until they got him. So he sacrificed himself. Upset about his death, Sheva and I avenged him by killing this guy, who literally isn't one of them. He's also incredibly annoying sounding.
You're just one of Excella's playthings.
Once again, the least intimidating sounding villain of all time.
It was during this fight, however, I learned an incredibly valuable lesson about Resident Evil 5. Having an RPG trivializes every boss fight. Despite trying out difficult methods and trying to do things the right way, I was always 10,000 money away from simplifying all of my problems. After the Irving fight and successfully avenging Josh, it was time to spin the wheel of doom and hopefully not fail another bonus challenge. And we got all enemies go 200% speed. Putting this option on the wheel was clearly a bigger mistake than my birth. Maybe even a bigger mistake than ranch in a spray can. Yeah, that's a thing. Enemies didn't just move twice as fast. They somehow jumped faster and further. They also kill you faster during grabs. And they recover from being shot faster, which means getting behind them to do neck breakers was more likely to kill me than them. First section we got stuck on was less than 5 minutes into the first spot. This is where I started learning exactly what 200% speed does and how it's easily more than 200% harder. I tried quite a few methods to get through this section, including vigorous shit talk.
You suck. You also suck. All of you suck. Look at you go and you're sucking this up. That's bad. All right, I might need to fight them.
Worked like a charm. By the way, this went on for 48 minutes. Next section I got stuck on was this crazy shootout deal. This was just obnoxious. And then we faced Sheva being a huge problem too. I know what you're thinking. And no, I'm not about to make an electric boogaloo joke. Even though I really, really want to. Right after the switch scenario, the unpronounceable bat monster came back. I opted to just run away this time. Of course, I couldn't get out of the shit temple without God's laser pointer and yet another episode of Sheva's screwovers. Also, using the laser pointer to get revenge on Sheva for, well, everything. Remember that thing I said about RPGs trivializing boss fights? Well, here's some proof. First, we fight U8, or as they call her in the rap industry, Young Flesh Elbows. I tried a few times to beat this boss using the grenade launcher with acid rounds and the sniper, but the second I tried out the RPG, the deformed spider monster's rap career was completely over, which led us into Chapter 5 and our next wheel spin, which made the enemies always in their enraged form. Turns out this didn't really affect the gameplay too much as I literally ran straight through Hunter Hall and even gave it a little jingle.
He came through the wall. Oh no, he's on the left, so I'm gonna go right, and he's on the middle, so I'm gonna go right, and I'm gonna get around him.
Then we trivialized a few more boss fights with the RPG.
Yes, but this one seems much more ferocious.
Haha! The plan. I can't believe that works. It worked! Yeah, that's how you handle it.
They even started to trivialize themselves, apparently.
Oh, sweet. That's not good. That's a whole bunch of not good. I'm just gonna try and jump down here. What happened to the rockets? What? Did they shoot this wall and kill themselves? Hell yeah!
Of course, you might be thinking, did he really just glaze over the Wesker Jill fight? The answer is no. I just couldn't beat that one with an RPG, so here we go. This fight caused a lot more problems than I expected. I was hoping I could just go in and stuff Wesker with a flashbang, then shoot a rocket at him and be done with it. Nope. Turns out you have to keep him distracted and not die for 7 whole minutes. Which seems easy, until you learn Jill damn near one-shots you with her burst rifle shots and Wesker guaranteed one-shots you. Now, I'm not sure why. Maybe it was just for the meme. Maybe it was to make it easier. Maybe it was because chat had a raging attraction to our outdoor sunglasses wearing eugenics lover of a villain. But chat really wanted Big Wesker.
I don't know if it affects the fight at all. Oh my god, she's right there. Oh, she's so terrifying. They're so big. They're so massive. Help. Help.
So they spun the wheel again and again and again. Eventually, I even gave them a bonus spin. And finally, they got what they wanted. Despite them literally crashing the game with the wheel, we got there. And the boy was big. Actually, he was a little too big. Turns out he couldn't fit through the door. Chat may have unintentionally made this fight way easier. But I'm not complaining. Once he got stuck there, I kind of just had to wait the 7 minutes out. Once that was done, it was on to the Jill fight. Hey, did you guys know I'm awful at QuickTime events? Because, well, that's why this fight was so damn hard for me. Now with Wesker and Jill done, both Ouroboros and minigun guys destroyed, there was just one last thing to do. Finally beat the game, which meant beating Wesker. This fight held me up for 45 minutes almost exactly. Between having trouble figuring out the first fight, then failing to cheese the second phase multiple times, I learned this was one boss I could not RPG my way through. I tried a few different weapon setups just trying to get this fight down. Shooting the sniper rifle just got me thrown off a cliff. A full clip of magnum rounds barely phased him. Hell, even a grenade launcher barely did anything. It was then I realized my attempts would be way better if Sheva wasn't trying to shoot him in the back with a shotgun from like 100 feet away. You can't blame me for not trusting her with any weapons. I mean, she'd gotten me killed more times than I had at this point. But I put my faith and multiple sniper rifles in Sheva. And eventually we made it through the fight's third phase? Then I did the boulder punching section and Sheva got tentacle whacked. But eventually we made it to the final phase of the fight. So after 11 magnum shots, 1 rocket, 2.5 machine gun clips, 5 grenade shots, 5 flash shots, an actual grenade, and even down to Sheva's very last shotgun shell, I finally ran completely out of ammo. All hope was dead. Just kidding, I was wrong about the RPGs the entire time. Turns out all I had to do was hit his weird back tumor with one.
Did that just work? Seriously, after all this strategizing, is that how it works? You just wait for him to expose himself one time and shoot him with a rocket directly?
Bada bing, bada boom. We got War Hero. And I only died 359 times in the process.
He came through the wall!